Hi, my name is Samantha, and I'm the author of the Womps, Pinto's Pinky Promises. Evelyn? Do you want to introduce yourself?
All right. Okay. I'm Evelyn Wong, and I'm the author of Just A Little Mynah. So Sam has asked if I introduce myself a little more, my background and what inspired me to write my story, and then I'll pass it back to Sam, and you'll do a reading.
Yeah,
right, first.
awesome.
Okay. All right. So, I love to write about adventures at home and in the neighborhood. And I guess I wrote my first story when I was 8 years old. It was black and white because I used a pencil and paper. And it was called The No-Lighters. It was about a tiny family that lived under my bed, and they only came out at night. I'm originally from Canada, but my children and my young grandchildren and their agong were all born and raised here in Singapore. And they have wonderful stories to share about home in the neighborhood as well. So I was inspired to write a story about a mynah who can talk. After I visited Pulau Ubin, and a mynah surprised me when she called out, "Hello, ni hao." So I was curious, and I learned that mynahs are the most common bird in Singapore, but you don't notice them. And also, there are species of mynahs that can learn to talk. They can learn to mimic the human voice if they hear the words often enough, especially when they're very young. So I wrote my first story. Let me see if I have it here. Sorry. The Naughty Mynah, and it is about a bird, a mischievous bird that can speak English and Mandarin. After that, I decided that I should write a story about a mynah who can speak not just two languages, but she lives in Singapore, so she hears all the languages in her neighborhood, so she can speak English, Mandarin, Malay, and Tamil. And that's the character in Just a Little Mynah. So I will be reading this story to you later with a special guest whom we'll introduce after. But first, I think it's back to Sam to introduce yourself, and then you can do your reading.
Okay. So my name is Samantha, right? And I'm currently still studying. I'm an undergraduate at NIE. And I was actually inspired to write this story when I was interning at Epigram 2 years ago. So while I was interning there, I was surrounded by children's picture books every day, and I was, doing stock counting and just looking at all the children's books. And I thought to myself, I really like to write a children's book. And so in the Womps, they are actually named after beans. So they're all named after a type of bean. And a lot of people have asked me why I named my characters after beans, why are they furry, and the short answer is there's no reason. I just think they're funny to look at, they're cute, and I personally love eating all kinds of beans. So like soya beans, pinto beans, Mexican beans, those are my favorite kinds of things to eat. So that's basically what my book is inspired by, and what it's about. It's basically these characters trying to figure out life and learning about values, and learning that sometimes it's okay to not get things right the first time round, as we all know, even as adults. Yes. So I guess now I'll go into my reading. So we have some young audience with us here today, actually. So if you haven't read this book before, I hope you enjoy. So everyone, this is Pinto's Pinky Promises. Can anyone guess who is Pinto? Kelsa! The brown one. The round one, yeah. So this is Pinto. Okay, he's the round one, the cheekiest looking one. And he has just learned about pinky promises. So let's take a look, okay? So, Pinto has just learned about pinky promises. He heads out to look for his friends. He simply can't wait to make his first pinky promise. Now who can I make pinky promises with? Hi Pinto, look at all the balloons I got for my birthday party. Can you come over tomorrow to help blow them up? Sure I can, Soya. I'll be there. I pinky promise to be there. Pinky promise? Pinky promise! It's the highest promise of all promises. And those who break pinky promises are the worst. So Soya happily goes away. Now, who knew pinky promises were so easy to give out? They are like regular promises, but much more fun. Hey Pinto, I need an extra player for my football game tomorrow. Can you come and play? Of course I can, Kofi. I pinky promise to be there. Pinky promise? Pinky promise. It's the highest promise of all promises. And those who break pinky promises are the worst. And he thinks to himself, I am the king of pinky promises. Hello, Pinto. Moving to a new house is hard work. Can you come over tomorrow and help me with these boxes? Sure I can, Chickbee. I pinky promise to be there. That's a lot of pinky promises he's making. Pinky promise? Pinky promise. It's the highest promise of all promises. And those who break pinky promises are the worst. So that night, we have our little Pinto dreaming of the king that he is. Pinky promise! And the next day, he wakes up. It's a holiday! Yay! I can watch television all day long. But wait, why do I feel like I'm forgetting something very important? What's he forgetting?
To help his friends.
Yes, Ari, to help his friends. Okay, so poor Soya is with her balloons, Kofi is missing a player, and Chickbee can't move. Pinto continues to watch television when... Let's shake on it. Pinto, where have you been? You pinky promised to help me blow my balloons. You pinky promised to help me with my football team. And you pinky promised to help me move my boxes. I'm sorry, I completely forgot. I promised to make it up to all of you tomorrow. Let's shake on it. So that's the end of the story. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. I'm now gonna pass the time to Evelyn and our special guest to read Just a Little Mynah.
Thanks, Sam.
No problem.
So, my story is also about friends, but it is the Little Mynah and her best friends, the the heron, the peacock, and the hornbill. So these are Little Mynah's friends, and she lives in a park. So we have a special reading with Karshini Devaswaran here. Thank you, Karshini, for coming down. She helped to record the voice for the story that you can hear on my website as well. But she does a wonderful reading, and she likes to use the puppets while we read. So I'll pass the puppets to you, and she will be reading the dialogue for all of the characters, because Karshini can speak English, Mandarin, Malay, and Tamil. So you can ask her how she knows so many languages later. Are you ready, Karshini? Yep. Well, thank you so much. So we're going to read Just a Little Mynah. So shall I pass you all the puppets first? I think so. Okay. So this is the Little Mynah, and all these characters, and you have the books there so you can see the pictures close up, but here they are. They've been created by a wonderful young artist Benendra poet Jono. And he suggested these puppets that are adapted from the wayang kulit from Indonesia originally. Dan is from Indonesia, but he's now working in Singapore. So here we have Little Mynah. So that. The gray heron. Yeah, thank you. And you want to put them here too. Peacock. And the great hornbill, who's originally from Malaysia, but they're a resident and common species in Singapore. Yeah. Okay, there we are. Can you manage that? Okay, so here we are. Just a Little Mynah. Since the day Little Mynah peeped out of her shell, she loved to talk. She soon spoke many languages and had many friends in the park. Little Mynah was always the first to wake up.
Good morning. Ciao An. Kale Vanakkam. Selamat pagi.
Heron swooped down on his enormous wings.
Ciao An, Xiao Baga. How do I look, Little Mynah? Magnificent.
Replied Little Mynah. So you got the Mynah there. Peacock flashed his feathered tail.
Kale Vanakkam. Kutti Mynah. How do I look, Little Mynah? Brilliant.
Said Little Mynah.
Kak, kak, kak.
Hornbill honked with her huge beak.
Selamat pagi, Mynah kecil. How do I sound? Kak, kak, kak. Spectacular.
Sang Little Mynah. Little Mynah was happy for her friends, but she was also sad, just a little. Every day, heron, peacock, and hornbill delighted visitors in the park. Magnificent, brilliant, spectacular, they exclaimed. Cameras clicked and snapped, but no one noticed Little Mynah. Little Mynah wished she wasn't so ordinary. Little did she know that things were about to change. An alarming call echoed through the park.
Crar, crar. Jiu Ming, Jiu Ming. Heron is in trouble.
Little Mynah cried out for help.
Jiu Ming, Jiu Ming. Kapa tengah. Tolong. Help!
A flock of birds was soon right behind Little Mynah, with flocks of people right behind them. Little Mynah had never flown so fast. She spotted a mess of red balloons at the top of the tallest tree. Heron was caught.
Hang on, Heron. We're coming.
Cried Little Mynah. Up, up, up. Little Mynah flew. Then down, down, down. Pop, pop, pop. She flew straight into the balloons with her pointed little beak. Pet, pet, pull. The birds pulled at the strings that were tangled around Heron.
Crar, crar.
That only made things worse.
Stop.
Shouted Little Mynah.
Let's pull together on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. San. Ondru, irandu, mundru. 1, 2, 3. Pull. La, unge. Tarik.
Heron was freed. Everyone cheered.
Bagus. How bang. Hooray. Sabash.
Cameras clicked and snapped. And Heron flapped his wings in thanks.
You're an extraordinary little mynah.
Peacock said,
You're fast and fearless.
and Hornbill honked with his enormous beak.
You pulled us all together to save Heron. A caw, caw, caw. Thank you, little mynah.
And yes, and everyone said,
谢谢. Nandri. Terima kasih.
yeah. So all the birds thanked little heron, little mynah. And the next morning, little Mynah was the first to wake up, as she always did, and she sang,
Good morning. Sawaan. Kali vanakkam. Selamat pagi.
but today was going to be different. Little Mynah knew what she could do. She was happy, and not just a little, because she learned that even ordinary little birds can do extraordinary things. The end. Thank you, Harshini.
Okay, so now that we've read the two books, right? Can y'all raise your hands? Who has a best friend here in school? Who has a best friend? I have a best friend. Okay, my best friend's name is, when I was in school, her name was Jamie. So maybe I can ask Evelyn, right? Evelyn, what's your best friend's name in school?
Clarice.
Clarice. Okay, so what makes Clarice your best friend?
Because when I first started my primary school, it's like not much people I really made friends, but like the couple of first few days when I went to school, we became like closer, then soon we became best friends. And so Clarice had another friend along with her. So in the end, we like turned out to be friends in a way because like we're from the same class.
Okay. So what makes you and Clarice close is that you see her every day in school, in class, right? So are you going to be, school is starting again, right? Are you going to be in the same class as Clarice?
No.
No, oh no. So how do you intend to make new friends in the new school year?
Well, since that we're in the new school year, the people will actually mix the girls. So I have a couple of classmates from the same class this year that's in the same class next year for me.
Okay.
So I think it'll be easy to
Make friends with your previous classmates. Very nice. Okay, maybe we can have Ellie. Ellie, who's your best friend in school? Everybody is your best friend. That's good. And why? What makes everybody your best friend? Because you like everybody. That's great. How about this Edith? Edith, do you have a best friend in school? No? Yes. What's your best friend's name? Everybody as well. So you and your older sister, everybody is best friends. That's great. How about Ari? Ari, who's your best friend in school?
everyone.
I'm so touched. Everyone is your best friend. Why is everyone your best friend?
Because when they have blood, I help them.
Because when they need help, you will help them. Oh,
When
that's
they
very
fall down.
When they fall down. Does that happen a lot? Yeah, yes. Your friends fall down a lot. Okay. So maybe we can ask the older girls, right? Like Kashini, right? So now when you go back to school, what is it that you look for in a good friend?
Well, I look for their sense of humor.
Their sense of humor, so they have to be funny?
They don't necessarily have to be that funny. They
Because you're funny, right?
yeah, I feel I am. Because I don't want a solemn and serious best friend.
Right. You don't want a serious friend.
I want like what I look for in a best friend is that I look for they smile a lot.
They smile a lot.
They make jokes.
They make
And
jokes.
they laugh.
Right.
And they also are responsible
Yeah.
while being all light and playful.
Okay, so being responsible and like Kashini's younger brother said, right? When a good friend is also someone who will help you when you fall. Like Little Mynah is a good friend
Yeah.
and helping her friends when they're stuck. Yeah. So, who thinks Pinto is a good friend? Ari thinks Pinto is a good friend. Anyone else thinks that Pinto is a good friend? Okay, Evelyn is not saying yes. Evelyn, why is Pinto not a good friend?
Because he's trying to help his friends.
He-
trying to help
he
his
was
friends
trying
in
to-
the first.
right, at
In the first
first.
place, he was trying to tell them that I will do this for you, I'll do this for you.
Yeah, so he was trying to be a good friend, but what happened after that?
He forgotten all about it.
He forgot all about it. Yeah, he only remembered to watch TV, right? So I guess you could say Pinto is trying to be a good friend, okay, but sometimes even when you try your hardest, sometimes you don't succeed, right? And that's okay, okay? So anything you want to say to our friends?
Well, I guess in the case of Little Mynah, she's a bit different. I
Yeah.
think Pinto was very confident, and he was very enthusiastic to help his
Yeah.
friends, but he forgot, so he
Yeah.
disappointed his friends.
Yeah.
For Little Mynah, she wasn't very confident about herself, but she loved her friends,
Yeah.
and she always wanted to help other people. Like you all say, you want to help other people. And everybody is your friend. You love them or you like them,
Yeah.
especially if they're funny. But you have to like yourself too, right?
Yeah.
So I guess that's how Little Mynah found out that, you don't have to look grand, and you don't have to feel bad about yourself. You also are special, and so she keeps her friends. She helped them and surprised them.
Yeah. So I think we'll just end our little discussion here. We all know school starts very soon, in 2 weeks, for those who are going back to primary school. Some of you are happy, some of you not so happy, but I'm sure the parents will be happy. And as a future teacher, I'm looking forward to going to school as well. And
Yeah,
I hope
good.
everyone has a good time and make lots of new friends, funny friends, responsible friends. Yeah.
So, Just a Little Mynah is the first in a series. It'll be 3 stories. And so the second Little Mynah adventure will be out in June. And the title of that story is Makan Mischief, where Mynah wants to help her friends, Jen and Jay, at the hawker center. But she's so enthusiastic that she gets them into trouble. And you have another book coming out
Yes,
as well.
I do. So I have I have a second book coming out as well as part of a trilogy of the Womps, and it's coming out next June, and it's going to be about our dearest friend Chickbee, our little nervous friend Chickbee, and it's going to be called Chickbee's Charming Cha-Cha, and it's about Chickbee learning how to cha-cha, and I wrote it because I love to dance, and I think everyone should have a dance once in a while. So if you're interested in getting our books, our current books and also the upcoming books, and if you want to support local, if you want to buy Singlit, you can get it at where we are right now, this wonderful bookshop, and it's called Huck's Epigram Coffee Bookshop, or you can get your books online at epigrambookshop.sg. Yes. So thank you for tuning in.
And thank you.